Good evening. 3 sisters who all found out they had breast cancer within 13 months of each other have discovered the reason why hidden deep in their genetic makeup. The women took part in a huge national study into why some people develop certain cancers and rare diseases.
The groundbreaking research will lead to more individually tailored treatments and could be the beginning of the end of chemotherapy. Our correspondent Peter Bethan reports.
3 sisters who share more than just a surname. In December 2013, Mary was told she had breast cancer. Weeks later, Kerry learned she too had the disease. 12 months passed, and then Sandra was given the same diagnosis. Their mother and 2 other relatives have also had breast cancer.
It was unbelievable. It was such a shock.
You just think, is this ever going to end? You know, 1, 2, 3... I mean, there's 7 of us all together, and you think, well, who's going to be next?
The women, who live in Leicester and Northampton, agreed to take part in a study called the 100,000 Genomes Project. Genomes are the patterns of DNA which determine how our bodies grow and heal. It's like the human body's instructions manual. By looking at these patterns, scientists can find variations which could cause genetic diseases. The Lloyd sisters took a simple blood test. Now, after computer analysis, it's revealed Mary and Sandra have a mutated gene which significantly increases the risk of getting breast cancer.
Now they have identified a gene. It means that they can test the extended members of the family, and they can then intervene at a much earlier stage, probably prevent cancer, and have more targeted treatments for that cancer anyway, should it occur.
Kerry doesn't have the affected gene, but a 4th sister, Bethan, has been found to be a carrier. She's now considering the medical options open to her and her family.
I was quite devastated, but I feel really positive about it because I've got 4 children and it will qualify them to get tested.
The science behind genomes could help doctors diagnose earlier and tailor more personalised treatments for their patients. For Mary, Sandra and Kerry, it's explained why breast cancer plagues their family. Happily, all 3 of them are now in remission. Peter Bethan, ITV News, Leicester.
Well, Professor Julian Barwell is a consultant in genetics at Leicester Royal Infirmary, and it was his team which made the discovery about the Lloyd sisters. Professor Barwell, welcome to the programme. Now, the sisters now know what genes specifically cause their cancer. So how does that help with their treatment?
Good evening. Thank you for having us on. So with this gene change, we know there's a high risk of developing breast cancer. So we're in a much better position now to look at trying to prevent breast cancer in the relatives by considering preventative surgery, but also potentially detect it at an earlier stage with screening, but also personalised treatments moving forward. So we can target the weaknesses in the actual tumour related to this gene change.
Now, presumably this means it makes it less invasive, and you've said that this could be the beginning of the end of chemotherapy. So how likely is this?
So we've been working with the university and our colleagues at the Genomics England to identify the types of gene changes not only in the blood, which are inherited, but also in tumours themselves. We need to do a lot more genetic testing and genomic testing of tumours, and also then carry out further trials to identify new drugs which can be used to treat patients.
And if this does become widely available to all of us, is it expensive?
The genetic testing itself, via sequencing all of the genome, is not particularly expensive. It does require a large workforce to help with the analysis to interpret what these gene changes mean. But actually, what we will be in a position to do is to give the right drug to the right patient first time, and actually personalised treatments to the individual problems that that patient actually has. So perhaps in time we'll be able to reduce side effects and unnecessary treatment.
OK, well, we wish you continued success with the research. Professor Julian Barwell, thank you for joining us.